Good evening, viewers, and welcome to another program of Beacon of Hope. I'm sure you're wondering why on a Wednesday. Yes, we always say that this is a special program and we could come in any time during the week. And so we're here just because this is a time that my guest, who is very, very, very busy, this is the time when my guest is available. That is why I am coming to your screens, to your home on a Wednesday evening. Do me a favor, share, welcome somebody, invite somebody, and tell them that Beacon of Hope is here. That is exactly what I am doing. That is what I'm doing right now. Inviting people, telling people that Beacon of Hope, hey, we are here. And just like you, most people would be wondering why on a Wednesday. Yes, we are live on a Wednesday. We've got a very, very special guest tonight. And so I do encourage you to invite somebody to share with all your contacts, because there is a treat for you. There is something that you're going to learn tonight. So welcome once again. This is your show, Beacon of Hope, where we aim to inspire, to motivate, to teach, and even to learn from each other. So here we are, from my room to your room, on this screen, reaching out to you. Share. We are here live on YouTube, Beacon of Hope Beacon, and again on Facebook pages spread all over. So kindly share, invite somebody, and if you've got any comments as we go on, you can always put that on the chat. Just before we go on, a word. At Beacon of Hope, we hold discussions every week. I want our people to be empowered. I want our people to be enriched. And we talk to the young at heart, and our topics rotate around young people, finances.
We buy when the market is low, and we sell when the market is high. Simple.
Growing up in the diaspora.
As much as I am grateful the way that my parents raised me, my Shoshogoka's generation raised me, there are certain things I won't carry with me.
Politics, leadership, career, parenting, all sorts of discussions.
And I remember 2010 when you were standing, I was standing. You were standing on in Palawater.
If you want to invest, you invest in a developing area, not a developed area.
House prices right now, for example, I'll use that as an example, has now overtaken the amount that a normal person who's a normal worker, let's say 132K, can now afford.
Join me, your host, Councillor Dr. Elizabeth BK, from my living room to yours, on all social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, name it. Just join us, we'll be there, and you'll not miss out a topic that suits you. And each one of us has always got something to share, and Beacon of Hope is always here for you. We are open to all sorts of discussions, as long as we are motivating, we are inspiring, we are teaching. All these discussions are there, and we'll be ready. And that is what we are doing tonight. From my living room to yours, reaching out to you, the power of social media. Once again, welcome viewers. This is our program, Beacon of Hope. And tonight we have a special program, which is our Wednesday special program. Yes, I'm getting all these questions. Is it Friday? No, it's not. But we have got the liberty. I always say that this is a special program. If we get our guests on a Monday, there we go. As long as we are available, as long as you are there, and you are the most important person in our show. You, my viewer, you, my supporter, you, the person who is always there for me, always joining our show. And before we continue, a word from our sponsors.
Habari wa Kenya. Get fantastic rates with TapTapSend. You can now send money to Kenya at great rates and with zero transfer fees. Send money from the USA, Canada, UK, Germany, Italy, France, Belgium, Spain, and the Netherlands. Trust TapTap for convenient, safe, and fast transactions to M-Pesa and to Kenyan bank accounts. Download today and get a bonus on your first transfer. TapTap ni ChapChap.
Yes, that's TapTap. And somebody asked me, how do you get this TapTap? A quick guide. Yes, that's simple. It's that simple. And tonight, I would like to tell you that if you use my promo code Liz254, have you seen on the download, if you use my promo code Liz254, guess what? It's not £10, it's not €10. You get 15. This has been our Easter promotion. And guess what? We've extended that to the end of the month. Use my promo code Liz254 on your first transaction and you get £15, €15. Listen, look at the rates today, 163 shillings to the pound. So you can imagine if you only meant to send your mom £10 or your dad £10 or £5 even, then you get another £15 on top. Brilliant. Maximize on this. But listen, it's got to be on your first transaction. And that promotion is just for Easter period, which ends end of April. Take advantage. And your money will be instantly transferred. And in case you have problems, we are here as your ambassadors to support you. So take that advantage. Our promo code or my promo code, if you download TapTap, Liz254. And there we go. You will not regret. Send money, use TapTap. Back to our show, and thank you ever so much for those of you joining. I know this is a different schedule, it's a different time, and a bit of inconvenience, but hey, this program, it still goes. It's saved on YouTube, it's saved on Facebook, so you can always watch at the comfort of your home or anytime when you are free, even as you travel. But those of you who are here, Anthony Ayub, kindly invite somebody, kindly invite somebody, share, invite somebody, because my guest has got a lot to share. He's an upcoming one of the leaders, and hey, we want to hear from him. And without any further ado, I'm gonna bring you, I am excited, and you can tell that he's not any other guest. I've brought guests who talk about other things, health, other things that are on sale. But the guest tonight, I'm very, very passionate. The topic that we're going to discuss tonight is very close to my heart, and I'm very passionate. And without wasting time, I'm bringing my guests. Hello.
Hello, Chancellor.
Wow, good to see you. And you know what? I love that rosette there. Okay, I know I've taken so much time because our programs usually we do our programs usually on Fridays, But then because of your schedule, I know you are too busy. We just said, yes, we have to go for it. Would you like to kindly introduce yourself? Over to you.
Thank you. You see, we are in campaign mode right now, so the schedule is really tight. I'm sure you understand.
Thanks for the sacrifice.
This is what is called a short campaign.
It is, yeah.
My name is Njore Kimani, but most people know me as Josh. And as I've been given a very good introduction, so I don't know whether I can meet the expectation of what people are watching. But my background is in technology. I'm a data management thought leader. I do international business. I also do a newspaper in former East Africa. And I also serve with the Kenyan community as part of the 90s group. So anyone who has ever heard of the 90s group, I'm part of the 90s group leadership. And I'm also a leader here in Slough with the Kenyan community. So I'll stop there so that when we get into the politics.
Wow. Brief, simple, sweet, kept it to the point. Right. So we would like to know just a bit more about Njore Kimani. Let me call you Josh. I'm used to Josh, you know. I hope you don't mind. Where you from? What's your background? You know, where did you go school? Just a bit more about yourself, a bit of personal life, you know, people can know. Are you from Turkana? Are you from Zambia? You know, bits of that is very, very important so that people can pick up and know where are we coming from.
I'm from Kenya. I grew up in Nairobi, but my family is from Gatondo. And also my mom is from Kirinyaga, so I'm very much in the Kikuyu land. But I've also grown up in Eldoret. I've spent some time in Eldoret as well, and I go there every time when I go to Kenya. I go to Eldoret. I came to the UK in 2002 as a student in technology. I'm an IT person. I studied in Wolverhampton University, and then I joined the military. I served in the army for 7.5 years, and I came out as a corporal from the military, and then I went back into IT. So yes, a bit of background. That's I don't know how much more you want to know. I'm married. I've got my wife and 2 children. My children are now all grown up. Got a 15-year-old child, a boy, and a 12. The girl will be 12 in August this year. So I'm well settled.
Wow. All these very, very important, Josh, as you may want to know that some people would like to know before we discuss politics, they would want to know your status, they would want to know so that if they have to ask any questions, they would want to know. You're telling us to go into politics. You don't know, I've got a family, I've got, you know, these things. So you'll be talking to people who have got families and you'll be able to explain to them how you expect to maneuver all this. So that bit is very, very important. Again, where you coming from, so that we can be talking to our own people who thinks, politics and UK, politics and Kenya, and I'm in Kenya, I'm in UK. Have I ever thought about this? Why? So you might think it's not important, but I always value that. I always value that intro so that people can really now relate with you well so that they can understand this journey. Oh, I can also make it. He's been there. He can do it. He's got a family. He's looking after his children. He's being in the paramedic, you know, whatever you've been. Oh, what did you say you did? Army.
I was in the British Army.
Uh-huh.
And I'm also a director of an international tree planting foundation that we celebrated 100 years of planting trees in Kenya.
Wow, wow, wow. Right. Very, very exciting. And you know what? I've got another guest joining me. I've brought him in. And oh my God, I've got a bit of echo on this other guest. We are three of you. And the reason why I've brought him instantly is because I want him to get to know more about you so that you can also get to know who he is. And because you've already done a bit of introduction, do you mind kindly just quickly going back, saying who you are, where you're coming from, and why we have brought you here? And then my guest will introduce himself. My other guest will introduce himself.
Sure, no problem. So my name, Quadri. My name is Njore Kimani. I'm from Kenya, but I live in Slough, and I'm vying for a councillor seat here in Slough. And my passion for politics is education and environment, because I'm also an international director for a tree planting foundation that has just celebrated 100 years. And I'm a former soldier for the British Army for 7.5 years.
Cool. Right. I'm gonna invite my guest who I just brought in. He's my younger brother, my colleague, but I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Over to you, Quadri. Mwen.
Good evening, everyone who has joined us from different platforms. Obviously, I really congratulate firstly our senior councillor, and cabinet member, Madam Kangati. Obviously, I would like to welcome on board our fellow colleagues from different part of the London family, Labour family, and a prospective Labour Party councillor candidate. And obviously, you know, on the introduction that my name is Councillor Mohan Chowdhury, and I have been into Barking and Dagenham Council from 2014. And obviously, we love our community, and we all feel like we have many things to offer for the community. So therefore, as we believe that we can give back to the community, that's why we are serving community as a councillor. Thank you.
Wow. Josh, you've had Councillor Moen is one of my colleagues, and the reason why I thought I should bring him in, he's one of the young councillors we have. He is a parent like you are, and he served not just for one time, I think 2 times or 3 now. So he might have tips for you, or we want to share because we are one family. And when I learned that you're standing with the Labour Party and he's a strong supporter of our party, I thought, you know what, I'll have some backup with me, because you might think, oh, councillor, okay, I've been there longer than him, that's why he says my senior sister. But we want to share ideas, we want to share experiences. So welcome on board my 2 guests, and I'm really happy to have the 2 of you. But as we continue, could I kindly ask both of you to share, invite family and friends. If you share on your contacts, all the people who are not my friends on your contacts, both Facebook and YouTube, will join in, and we'll be sharing this word to so many people, because as much as we are hosting you, we are proud Labour Party members, and we want to flood this place red. As you can see, you are rosette there. Right. We'll go back to you, our guests, Josh. Mwen, by the way, he doesn't mind being called Josh. So, Josh.
Yes.
Josh, can you tell us why politics? Why have you decided to join politics?
I have to start by saying that you are my mentor. That's where it started. When I left the military and then I heard about Councillor Kangede, I called you and I said, I want to understand, what is this that you went into? Because I did a lot of politics in Kenya. And I even wanted to relocate and go to Kenya and do politics. But then when I heard that you had joined politics here, I became a member of the party. And I researched the party. In fact, the reason why I joined Labour is because it is for the laborers. The Conservatives are they're the capitalists, and Labour Party is for the majority, for the people. So I joined politics because there is no way you can live in an area and you pay your council tax and you don't know how your council tax is being used. And especially once you've had children, they're going to local schools, you need local parks, you need your roads to be sorted out. I now started to ask myself, what are we doing? What are we doing to help our African families in helping them to be able to live a life where they're not bothered about my child doesn't get a school place, for example. That's a real issue. I've experienced it as well. I was a school governor for 6.5 years for one of the largest schools here in Slough, Claycourt School. And in fact, at one point, it was the largest school in Europe. And I was school governor and I was finance committee member, and I left as a vice chair. So I started to understand that it is important that we practice and play in the game of politics so that we can represent the minorities, because you see, we are minorities. So I needed to get into politics and represent the minority. That's the reason why I went into politics.
Wow, 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 wow. Good reasons. And in the first place, choosing to be a governor, I always tell people that's one step to get you into joining the community. And you find that for us to be here, it's because we have got that love for the community. We have the passion for the community. We want to be there and do something. We want to give back, because people think joining politics here is for the money. It's not. It's you have a heart for the people who are here, and somebody has to be their voice. Maybe we can hear from Moen why he himself joined politics. Moen, over to you.
Thank you, our presenter, and thank you, Josh, for your reasoning that why you like to be one of the social engineer. Obviously, you like to see the change. I'm echoing with Josh that I would like to see the changes as well. And at the same time, I join in politics. Obviously, Elizabeth Kangati is mastering of saying we are the product of immigration. So she's a great advocate. Every speech she gives, she says we're the product of immigration. Yes, I am the same. I'm a product of immigration. I'm originally from Bangladesh. When I came into the country as a student, I found that this hostile government, the Tory government, they keep increasing the tuition fees, and it hurts me more. So when I start to know about the community, they are championing of taking food away. Obviously, the Margaret Thatcher's milk snatcher. So we had all this history. So in the time of Tory government, you see the people are in more in need. They're great in cutting people's benefit. They are very reluctant in cutting housing benefit, and they are very good in divide the community into pieces. When I start to realize that the Tory is really depend on the super rich class, and I feel like that we have to have a collective voice, and the voice cannot be individual. If we have a collective voice, this voice can be heard, and we can do the changes for the community as a whole, and which motivates me to join labor movement. And ever since, obviously, both of we all know that the area we represent, Barking and Dagenham, historically is predominantly dominated by the BNP till 2010. So me, Kangati, Elizabeth Kangati, Councillor Darren Rodwell, and the comrade from wider East London and the West, we fight together in order to deprogram BNP, and all these fascist organization. So obviously, in the nutshell, to see the changes within the community, we work collectively. That's the main reason we joined Labour Movement.
Right. Thank you ever so much, Councillor Quadri. And there's a bit of noise background from your end. There's some music. If you don't mind, I'll take you out and then you can sort that out as we continue, but you can follow. Right. So, Councillor Josh, yeah, I'm calling you Councillor now. In faith, I'm a great believer. I'm a Christian. I believe that you'll be there. In Jesus' name, we are. As much as we are praying, I know you are doing a lot. Now, can you tell us, in your part of the world where you live in, where, Slough is not the same, some of the issues that you have there could be different from what I experience and what I have to deal with in Barking and Dagenham. What are some of the pocket areas where you think, oh, we need somebody like me who can be that voice, who can bring that change? What are some of the areas that have really, because to put your name forward, you must have noted something and you thought, oh, I'm not happy with this and that. Can you name some of the areas where you feel that you have an input or you really want to make a change? Oh, sorry, you are mute. Sorry, go on.
Oh, yes. So when I looked at what can I do as a councillor, there's a lot of issues, and I'm not going to help everyone with everything that they need. But there are a number of issues that I looked at, and it is so. For example, buses, transport is a real concern in our area, because there are people who have to go and work in, so for example, in hospital, and they have to take like 3 buses to get to the hospital. So transport is a real issue. The other thing, particularly during the pandemic, there was a serious issue of parks being maintained. And yet parks were the ones that were being used for mental health, so that people can walk in the park, go and ride a bike in the park, and they couldn't meet with anyone else. No other families could meet, but at least you could get out. Because the people who live in flats and they don't have a garden and they need mental health, that is now where I get in with the environment issue. Education, for me, having been a school governor, education for me is a real need. I want children from all walks of life, because we have a lot of immigration in Slough, and it can be very difficult, people who are coming from all over the place, for their children, when they get into Slough, and Slough having one of the largest estates, trading estate, there's a lot of work here. But if families come here and they don't have places for their children to go to school, so for me, education is also a real concern. So those are the things that I will focus on: transport, education, and environment, making sure that we have those needs met within the environment. There is also, when we launched the manifesto, there's issues about social services and elderly people. That is also something else that I can speak about. I would need to be in. I would need to be a councillor so that I can sit down and look at the data. I can't do too many things. But yes, I once I'm in and I'm in the council, those are some of the things that I will be focusing on.
Excellent. You'd be happy to know that almost all the areas you are pointing is what we have to deal with in our daily lives. The only challenge we have at the moment, and I would like to give you prior notice because I know you'll be elected, is there's no money and we have to deal with the little that we have. However, I am the cabinet member for education. With the little resources that we have, would you believe that our schools are, all our schools in Barking and Dagenham, 96% either good or outstanding? And yet we are part of the UK, which is most deprived. And, you know, with all the needs that are there, I always keep asking myself as a cabinet member, suppose we have resources like in other areas, that shows definitely we'll be flying, we'll be excelling. Areas like transport, parks, you know, I'm very passionate because parks give us the fresh breathe, and you know, you're away from home. That's where you can go, and when you need a change of environment, you can go and pray there, you can go and meditate, you can go have your children play, you can go for picnics. Like now summertime is coming, but if the parks are not well maintained, if the parks are not well looked after, if the parks are not safe, because that's another important area, then that's a no-go zone. And I can assure you that as a council, those are some of the areas we look at. We also look at the social services, you know, we look at, for example, the lives of everybody, not one person, both elderly, young. Those are areas that we need to think about. Maintenance, the environment, general environment, the roads, looking at the potholes, you know, maintenance of council flats and all that. There's so many areas if there was all the money, because currently, just like any other part of the world, money is scarce. But however, we still have to deal with the little that is there. And I can tell you, we will manage. And I can see, and I can say without a shadow of doubt that you are going to the council for the right reasons. You're not going there like somebody keeps asking me, you've been there, you've been a mayor, now you're a cabinet member. Why can't you come to this part of the world? You know, the one place I'm talking about. Why can't you come to this part of the world and become our MP, become a women rep, become our governor? One, I always tell people that they need to know campaigning here is very ethical. Have you had, can you tell people, since you put your name forward and you are in the short campaigns now, you're just about, because elections will be in a few weeks' time, how much have you spent? How much money have you had to give your voters? How much have you had to part with, bribing people? Can you tell us? And it has to be the honest truth, how much of your money you spent.
Per member who has been nominated. After that, there is not a penny that I have spent. Not a penny. And I get all my leaflets and I get everything. The only thing I need to do is give my time and go and door knock and talk to people and encourage them to come out on the day to vote. There is no... The politics that I have known when I was growing up is very different from the politics that I'm doing now. And here you can't do that kind of politics because it is illegal to do that kind of politics. So the law does not allow for some of those things that we have seen when we were growing up.
We don't, I tell people, and people don't believe me when I tell them. You know, I host so many of our colleagues from our other home. They come over, some of them want to learn, some of them just want to come on holiday, but they check on me. When I tell them during my campaigns, I didn't spend a single coin, they look at me and they wonder, what's happening? When I tell them I don't give any money to anybody so that they can vote for me, they wonder, really? They don't believe it. But this is where, and I always tell our people, this is part of the problems we have out there. I know we are talking about politics here, but we can also mention, because we have learned, When I was growing up, I was a head teacher in Kenya, and during that time, I worked with the then Electoral Commission. My dad was a senior coordinator with the Electoral Commission, and I was a returning officer. I was actually one of during twice or three times a presiding officer and then a returning officer, and I know what happens there. So when people invite me and they tell me, no, you can come, you can manage, I tell them, I know what I'm talking about. That's not the thing for me, because I know the expectations and I do not want to tarnish my name. So politics here is so ethical. It's you know, people don't believe the kind of politics that we do here. And I'm glad that I'm getting products so that I can also move to the next level now. Products like Josh have got currently in this May, by the grace of God, I will have 3 new Labour councillors, and I'm so excited because I know you will sail through. Now, Josh, could you tell us, why did you go for Labour Party? Tough one.
It's not a tough one. I can tell you why. Because I researched before I went to Labour Party. I researched my parties, and I could have gone to Lib Dem, I could have gone to other parties. The reason why I went to Labour Party is because in 1954, when we had the emergency in Kenya, the Labour Party went to Parliament and they said that the British were putting people in concentration camps. And at the time, the government of the day was a Conservative. Then I looked at most of the people who were being put in concentration camps were people from the Kikuyu community. And that just changed my mind. And I said, I cannot be part of the Conservative.
I'm sure you've done more than that. You must have done more than that and looked at the current status, because you just did not join the Labour Party yesterday or last month. I know you've been an active member of the Labour Party, just like me. I've been a member for over 20 years now, even before I joined politics. And just like you, I had researched and seen which is the party for the people, which is the right party for the people.
The key thing you just mentioned there. It is the party for the people. They were representing us even during the emergency period in Kenya. The Labour Party was still representing us, even as Africans. We had not even come to the UK, and yet the Labour Party was still representing us. So I joined the Labour Party because it is the party for the people. And I am part of being with the people. Community driven. It's not about the money, it's not about how much business you do, it is just representing the people. Being community driven. And that's why I joined the Labour Party. And I'm proud to be a member of the Labour Party.
Absolutely, Josh, you've hit the nail on the head. The party for the people. We are there for the people, to represent them, to support them, to be their voice. And like here in Barking and Dagenham, where I am elected, we say we are one borough, one party, one people. We work like one. We think of each other as families. And if you have that mentality, you will be a servant. I've always told people, I was sharing with you the people I host here. Some are governors, some are MPs, some are women rep from Kenya. It's okay. They come over for meetings, or some of them just want to come and learn. And I tell them one thing I know: for one to serve, you got to have that servant heart. You got to go into politics with a servant heart. You got to look at yourself as a servant. You are going to serve the people. But the mistake most people make is they look at so and so became an MCA the other day, and they're doing so well. They're driving a V8, they've got the best houses, but have you sat and thought, where is that money coming from? So for us here, we don't go in there for the money. And that is why, as a serving counselor, you are allowed to be working. You can continue running your businesses as long as there's no conflict of interest. When I started, I was still teaching and I managed. But the year I became mayor and I wanted to study, I wanted to go back to do some studies, I quit, I resigned then. And again, currently, the post that I hold of cabinet member, it's quite demanding, and I want to serve, I want to get to grips of everything, but we are allowed to work. Whereas that part of the world, our other home, you cannot. And it's quite different, very, very different. I've visited, I've had chats, I've had conferences, I've spoken to them, and the mentality is totally different, Josh. You'll be shocked once you get into the council and the kind of questions you'll be asked. People just wonder. Now, as you come in, because I know I keep saying yes, I'll call you, I've saved your name as councillor. Now, what are the challenges that you expect to face, or what are some of the questions you'd like to ask? Oh, Mwen is not yet back. He had issues with it, but I can handle it. I've been there long enough.
You see, once you get in, there's an expectation from the society. They will come and they will ask you questions when you're doing your clinics. The same way I used to go and ask questions to other councillors and ask them, why do we have our traffic lights are not opening long enough for cars to move, because I have carbon from the cars that are stopping for too long. So the biggest challenge, I think, that, and I'm ready for it, the biggest challenge is the society will have an expectation. How I deal with that expectation and how I deal with those questions is going to be the thing that I'm going to be looking at. The other thing that I mentioned, we have a lot of migration here in Islam. And a lot of those migrations is young families. And I will go back to the issue of education. Children going to school. How do we work with the school to ensure that they have enough spaces for the children who are coming to live in this area? That for me is a real need, and I want to support the migration issue. When we left the European Union, we of course lost a lot of people from the European Union, the Hungarians, Romanians, and the Polish. They had to go, and then spaces were left in schools. So schools had a problem with the top slice that is given by national government. Now, when we're now allowing migration to come back, we have a real concern, not only in Slough. This is an issue across the country. And we have to be mindful about that. So I know that those are some of the challenges that I will have to deal with. Those are the questions that I will be getting at the doors when I'm talking to people. But because I'm aware of them, I'm ready to work with the community in order to try and resolve those matters that we have to deal with.
Absolutely. You've hit the nail on the head. Exactly. Those are some of the challenges that we do face obviously our people coming to you and expecting you to do them favors if they live near you. Some of them even calling from as far as, outside your ward, and they want you to do things for them because that is possible from where we come from. Absolutely, you will be getting that. And people do not understand when you're not able to do it. People will come to you and say, hey, I'm looking for a council house. How can you help me? I mean, I can only direct you because here everything is very ethical and you've got to follow the procedure. There is no shortcut. I cannot be able. The only advantage is that at least I know the right officer to go to, so you are not beating about the bush, so I can direct you and I can lead you into what you need to do. So those are some of the things that really you will be getting from the people who know you. They'll be expecting favors from Josh. They'll be expecting now Josh is there and he can fix everything. He can fix all our problems. Welcome to my world, Josh, because it's not that easy. And I've had actually some of our people who really felt I'm not there for them, I'm not doing the right thing for them, But later, when people understand, they do not push you that much. They do understand, wow.
One of the things that maybe I would like to add, and maybe you can support me on this one. We need to ask people to become members of the Labour Party. Become members. Pay your £28 per year. It's the price of a McDonald's once a month. It is cheap as chips. And then go for meetings. Go for meetings and hear what is happening within the society, what is happening within the community. Then, only then, can you now start to make decisions. The same way I always tell people, the same way we go to church on a Sunday. The Labour Party, you only need to go once a month for a meeting. I've been chair of the Labour Party in 3 wards here since 2016. They voted me consistently. And I sit there and I chair the meeting. 9 councillors come and they give me the reports. And then I hear what is happening locally. So all I would advise, and whoever is listening to this show, if they want to understand the politics here in the UK, whatever area they're in, let them just pay their £28 and join and become Labour Party members. Then you and I, Councillor Kanyede, can help them and teach them how to become politicians. And whoever has the grace to become a politician, they can still carry on to do their job, as you've said. You're a teacher and you carry on doing your job. I'm carrying on doing my job. But as long as someone has the commitment to be a community leader, service leadership, then we will get them in.
Now, Josh, could you tell me, there's something that has always bothered me. I mean, I've been a councillor now, this is going to 14 years, and I've spoken to so many people, I've tried to mentor so many people have come to me, they've asked me questions, yet they're so interested, and then all of a sudden they pull back. Why do you think our people are not that interested? I can tell you that we've been like less than 5 Kenyan councillors. I look at I would say it, the Nigerians, they've got, I think, almost 50 councillors, and they even have an association. And that gives them a voice. They can go and talk to Parliament. They can go and really find ways of really negotiating. They are able to maneuver because they have a voice. But when I tell my people, oh, I don't think I'm interested in politics. One thing I'll come back to you, answer my question. One thing I tell people, don't say you're not interested in politics, because some of you already are practicing politics. It's only that you've not joined the party politics. When you go to that school and you're arguing that, for example, a certain thing should not be happening in your child's school, or you get a group of women and you decide, oh, we want to go against this because we don't like ABCD, that in itself is politics. When you are in your church, and I'm not trying to encourage this, I'm not trying to encourage this. When you are in your church and you decide this treasurer has been blah, blah, blah. So you are the leader. You've got these people together. You've managed to convince them, and you go on a protest, or I'm not going to call it a protest. I don't want that happening in my church. But anyway, get people together and tell them we need to start this support system for our children. And you manage to convince 3, 4, 5 people. You are a politician. You have already managed to change people's perception. You have already managed to convince people they have changed their mind. So when people say they're not interested in politics, I just look at them and because they're already politicians. What do you think, Josh? What is your observation? Why aren't our Kenyan community interested in politics in diaspora?
The only thing that I have seen, and this is the only thing, I haven't seen anything else. You mentioned a lot of things that people have concerns with, but the only thing that I have noticed is when people hear that a political seat does not have money.
Does not have money.
They walk away from it. They walk away from it. And this is why, like you, I've spoken to a lot of people and told them, let's do politics. Let's become councillors. Then they ask, oh, how much money do councillors make? I tell them it's a voluntary role. They walk away. They leave it at that is where they stop. When they hear, I am not going to be making money.
It's an allowance they get.
They don't want this business of allowance. They want to do politics the same way they've done politics from where they've come from. All the tenders are going to be there.
All the kickbacks.
That is the biggest issue. And you see, the reason why that happens is because people lack the service leadership.
Absolutely.
Service leadership is not about how much money am I going to make. It is how much impact am I going to make.
Yes.
Because if you look at the money, then you're not looking at the impact. You're not looking at the change that you're going to bring. And that's where the difference comes in. So, in answer to your question, that is why we have a problem with people joining and becoming members.
I can tell you, Josh, I didn't want to be the person mentioning money, but people have asked me, and I tell them it's in the public domain. Go and find out. If you just Google today, if you want to Google and find out what we get, our allowances, even as cabinet members, you will see it. It's open. But listen, sometimes you have to look beyond that. Money is good. We all wake up every morning, we work hard so that we can have a good living. But as for me, when I got into politics, I was looking at our future. I was looking at our children. Now, our children, Josh, might not be thinking of going back to Kenya like some of us. And actually, even some of us now, look, our ages, some of us are over 50. We are still here, So personally, I was thinking, with the kind of the situation, the current situation, and our children might want to settle here. What is happening? I really need to be a voice. I really need to support them. I really need to speak up. I really need to be there so that there is a change. I need to set that precedent for them. So personally, it wasn't actually even so much for me, but I'm looking at the future. I'm thinking of our children going to schools, our children, the decisions being made, are they in our favor? I mean, there was a gap. And even today, we still haven't, but at least we are getting there. At least we are being listened to. You did say about immigration. There are so many of us here who are immigrants who were not originally born here. And so that means we have to adapt to a certain lifestyle. We have to adjust to certain things. But then, as much as we want to adjust, we still want to retain our good culture. How do we do that? For example, here in where I am, and before my colleague left, he did say, I am a strong advocate of diversity and equality. I do support the many cultures that we have. And you are a witness that, for example, last year, Jamhuri Day, we did for the first time ever, our Jamhuri Day, we had our Kenyan flag the whole day being raised. And we even had our Kenyan ambassador. We had all my colleagues, Wazungus, and we raised our Kenyan flag. What am I doing? I'm thinking of the diversity. Because we are here, we need to feel our presence also needs to be felt. And how can you influence that? It's only by being in. You cannot influence by being outside. You step in, and then that is the only time when you are able to influence. That is the only time when you are able to bring in your ideas. I have changed so many things. For example, when I was the mayor, I brought in an idea of having a young mayor, and that is a legacy that I've had. Why did I do that? Because I was thinking of our young people joining politics. I used to take my son with me. He was in his early 20s then. He was 19, 20. He was in university. And because I wasn't married, I used to take him, and he would tell me, there's nothing interesting for me. I cannot find people my age. I went to other boroughs and I found, wow, they've got this idea of a young mayor. I came back and I introduced that. It's my legacy now. Schools here are competing. There's a certain age when one is supposed to be a young mayor. It's not just, I think they are as they finish their A-levels. So schools put their names in the ballot. They even campaign because they even have a chain for the young mayor. And that young mayor goes to schools. That young mayor campaigns. That young mayor has got a charity they support. That is one other reason. Then I started something called the Youth Parade. Once in a year, and this comes in summer, we have all the different youth organizations, church organization, and all that get together on a certain day. The council funds this. They have a parade. They go and assemble. Why am I saying all this? I am saying that sometimes you will become what you are, not for yourself, but you are looking at the future. You are thinking of somebody else. I am not selfish when it comes to what I do as a counselor. And that is why some people will not just look at me and they wonder, there's no money. Why are you still there? Because I'm thinking of, I wouldn't want my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren to go through what we've gone through ourselves. When we were settling here, whether you came as a student, whether you came as a worker, whatever way you came, there were issues with settling because there was that inacceptance. There was that bit of you don't belong. And I don't want that to continue. As long as you are not doing anything illegal, as long as you are following the law to the letter, the law of the land, then you've got every reason to participate in every aspect of the nation building in Her Majesty, oh my God, in His Majesty the King's the crown. So those are some of the issues that I would say, personally, that's what I feel. I don't usually look at the money. I look at my community. We can give back. We can be a people. We can be one. And I believe, Josh, you also have the same mentality, because I know I talk to you a lot, and I know, and now you've already said those are some of the reasons why you feel I want to be there. I want to see changes. And like I said, you cannot change from outside. You got to step in and then change from in. Right. The politician in me now. Right, Josh. What about you? What are some of the things that you'd like to add to what I've said about why people should join politics?
I think they need to, first of all, move away from the politics of Kenya, or the politics of Africa is very complex. That's what I would say. It's very complex. And people need to move away from that politics so that they can understand the politics here. The politics here, for people to join, they need to understand that in this country, they are minorities. We are minority. We have come to this country as economic migrants. And let's never forget that. We have come here because of economic needs. And then there's all this requirement for all the people we've left back in Africa. We're transferring a lot of money. I've seen you advertising TapTapSend, who are sending a lot of money to Africa. And the reason they're sending the money to Africa is because the African migrant has come here as an economic migrant. They need to join and become and join politics and understand the local politics, so that even when they're doing their businesses or they're going to work or they have a problem, like I've been talking to people who have a problem with the bus. The bus, they're telling me the bus doesn't come on time. And yet that person has to go to work. And then they say, I didn't get to work on time because the buses were late. And then I hear another community complaining that now we have too many bus lanes. And now you see the person who's complaining about bus lanes, they have 3 cars. The person who is telling me the bus doesn't come on time, they have no car. And I have to deal with all those issues. And our people need to understand that the way that governance is done here is very different from the way governance is done in Africa. And it doesn't matter which country you come from. You could be from Botswana, you could be from Namibia, Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana. It doesn't really matter. Governance is very different. As long as you're an economic migrant in the UK, you need to understand how governance works. And that's the only thing I would tell people. Join politics. Understand the politics here. You don't have to be a politician. You just need to understand it.
I quite like that idea of you don't need to. It's very good. It's really very, very good. And you know what? After this, we really need to do a thorough campaign among our community to make sure that at least they join the Labour Party, and then we can push it from there. I do have a group that I mentor, but they're still holding on. I know 1 or 2 who will put their names in the next elections because their part where they live in is not yet due. However, we still want more. We still want more people. We want them, like you said, we want to encourage them to join the Labour Party first and see how things work. And then from there, that's when they can see whether they want to commit. I do encourage our people, join, be a governor. Be a governor in your child's school.
Governor, or just become a member and then go for a few meetings. You need just 1 year of going for meetings, 1 year of becoming a school governor when you get a vacancy. Understand the school finances, understand how the council is being run by the party that is in your area. And then after that, you can choose whether you want to be a politician or you don't. We're not forcing people to be politicians. We're just telling them, understand the politics of the land that you live because it will help your children and even your children's children. So if you and I, Councillor, if you and I decide we're going to go and retire in Kenya, our children will not retire in Kenya. They will be here. They will have families here. And they need to understand how the system works. Let us not be left behind. Let me tell you one of the things that I found out in Slough. I will be the first black person, first black male that has ever been voted in Slough.
Wow.
I will also be the first black person that has ever been voted since 1992. Because there was a lady that was here who was from Caribbean. So in history, I will be the first African that has ever been voted in Slough.
Wow. Wow.
I'm writing history just by the seat that I'm getting.
Wow.
This one, we are writing the books of history.
We are taking this.
And then now you see, I was telling someone, I can even take it to the point that I say it will be the first Kenyan ever voted in Slough, ever.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So this one, I'm pushing it hard.
I'll be bringing my brother William. My brother William is going to take over from me. I want him to be the next. I want him to be the next councillor in Barking and Dagenham. He's already working so hard. You know, if we are standing this anytime now, he would get it. And he's telling you, the first Kenyan mayor in UK as your mentor. That's what William James is reminding you, that you cannot lose. If the first Kenyan mayor in the UK is your mentor, definitely. And William is joining you soon, because William does a lot of campaigns with me. He's been there for me and he knows it already. Joining the party, like you say, then the next thing, hit it. You'll be there. Now, we take a very short break.
William from Elec.
Yes.
Oh.
We take a very short break, have a drink, and then we'll be back, because we need to come and wind up, and then just have a drink. We'll be back. At Beacon of Hope, we hold discussions every week. I want our people to be empowered. I want our people to be enriched. And we talk to the young at heart, and our topics rotate around young people, finances.
We buy when the market is low and we sell when the market is high. Simple.
Growing up in the diaspora.
As much as I am grateful the way that my parents raised me, my Shoshogo Kaz generation raised me, there are certain things I won't carry with me.
Politics, leadership, career, parenting, all sorts of discussions.
And I remember 2010 when you were standing, I was standing. You were standing on in Palawater.
If you want to invest, you invest in a developing area, not a developed area.
House prices right now, for example, I'll use that as an example, has now overtaken the amount that a normal person who's a normal worker, let's say 132K, can now afford.
Join me, your host, Councillor Dr. Elizabeth BK, from my living room to yours, on all social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, name it. Just join us, we'll be there, and you'll not miss out a topic that suits you. And each one of us has always got something to share, and Beacon of Hope is always here for you. We are open to all sorts of discussions, as long as we are motivating, we are inspiring, we are teaching. All these discussions are there, and we'll be ready. Right, and a word from our sponsors.
Habari wa Kenya. Get fantastic rates with TapTap Send. You can now send money to Kenya at great rates and with zero transfer fees. Send money from the USA, Canada, UK, Germany, Italy, France, Belgium, Spain, and the Netherlands. Trust TapTap for convenient, safe, and fast transactions to M-Pesa and to Kenyan bank accounts. Download today and get a bonus on your first transfer. TapTap ni ChapChap.
Na ni kweli TapTap ni ChapChap. And just before you forget, I did say if you download your first transaction, we've got we still have the Easter promotion, which is you get £15 on your first transaction. On my flyer it says £10, but we are doing a promotion. We have an Easter promotion. If you download and you use my promo code LIZ254, LIZ254, you get £10, €10, $10 on your first transaction. Come on, maximize on that opportunity before the end of April, and that promotion is only up to the end of April. And like today, the rate is 163.54 to the pound. So you can imagine if you're sending £10 to your mom, to your girlfriend, to your boyfriend, to your cousin, to your uncle, to your grandma, whoever, or even to support a certain mladi nyumbani, you get £15 on top of your first transaction. Remember, promotion code or promo code LIZ254. Right, Josh, as we almost come to an end, because I believe you saw what William has written. He has really been motivated and he's telling you, well done. What is your parting shot? Is there any support you want us to give you and tell us when the elections is and where you did not say particularly your word? Tell us something.
I'm buying in Slough. It's a ward called Sippenham Village. This ward was created after they did some gerrymandering. So because of the concentration of people who live in this area, they decided to create three wards. So they separated 2 wards and created a new one called Sippenham Village. So I'm vying in Sippenham Village. Election is on the 4th of May. The support that I want from our Kenyan people, and indeed our African people, because I've spoken to the Zanzibaris and the Nigerians and Botswana, and the support I would like is on the day. We need to knock up the doors and remind the Labour Party voters to come out and vote. That is the support I need. The second support I need is members. We need to create Labour Party members so that we can start securing seats for the African people. So those are the only 2 things I would ask from our people. On the day of the election, come out and go and vote. And then after that, become members. Then we can start creating more and more people within the Labour Party. And we can start taking over Labour Party in areas where even the Conservative are running the show. If we have a lot of African people, we can turn over the seats. So that's the only support I would ask. That's my parting statement.
Okay, Josh. Loud and clear, you said it. You'd want some support on the day, door knocking and telling people to come out and vote. So we'll be posting in our different social media platforms the day, the place, and people can even go together. I'll be talking to my brother here, William, so that we can get some people from Eric to come and support you. We do need that. Then the other thing that people need to do is register as Labour Party members. because we did say we are not looking at just today, we are looking at the future. You know, for me to have been elected 4 times, it just did not come automatic. I mean, I had to be a Labour Party member for some time. I had to go and meet with the people. I had to really get to learn, just like Josh has done. So I would urge people, just £28, that's your annual subscription. And when you start earning, you pay something like £52. It's something minimal, because, I mean, you guys, we are earning. And that means a lot if it means changing a lifestyle somewhere, changing someone's life somewhere. So let us think about that. Let us see, let us work together. Let us try and support Josh and the other 2. We've got other 2 who are standing. I brought Sisi, the 18-year-old girl who is standing in Thurrock. And I think I'll still be hosting her again. She was meant to be here, but she's got another program she was doing today. So let us do the best that we can. I said I'm sick and tired of being the only councillor. Everybody says, oh, the Kenyan councillor. I mean, I want more people. And then through that, when we get more councillors, then I can move to the next ladder. I want to go to Westminster. Why not? After I've already handed the baton to other people, I need to hand over the baton to somebody. And when my hands are full at the moment because I'm the only one, but now I'm opening my hands to Josh, to Sisi, to Sally, to all the others. And once I've handed over, I can move. They can give me that push. Yes, Westminster is knocking. Why not? We've got what it takes. So guys, let us support one another. Let us be there for each other. So Josh, I really want to thank you for taking your time. I know you are very busy, and these are the times when people have been outdoor knocking or even calling, because here we also do phone, you know, you campaign on the phone, talking to people, reminding them. So thank you for your time, and I can assure you that we'll give you all the support that you need.
Thank you. Thank you even for giving me the chance to come and speak to our people. So together we can.
Absolutely, Josh. Together we can, and together we are strong. And William says, your brother, we are behind you, and you know we will push for your presence in. Oh yes, for me in Westminster. After you have taken over in Paslos, William, you need to take over in Paslos, and then I can hand over. I don't want to hand over to other people. You are ready. Get ready. I know I have a few people who are registered, and they are ready, and they are getting ready. They are raring to go. So once again, I want to appreciate you, Josh, and to give you my blessings, all the best wishes on is it 4th? The 4th of May. And I can assure you guys, after 4th, we'll be celebrating. I'll try my best and be with Josh, because it's always good to get that hug from one who's been there. William says, even for my bro in Chepham, yes. And for Sari and for Sisi. So let's trust and we pray to God that come 5th, 6th of May, I'll be talking of 4 or 5 Kenyan councillors. Why not? It is possible. And because we are firm believers, we know that with God, all things are possible. And my friends, you know what? We've got what it takes. And I always tell people, I don't compare myself with those other people, West Africans and all that. They were here before us. We are only just we are not that old here. They migrated to this country long. They are here. But you look at our first generation here, we have not been here. Our earliest is like 30 years, a Kenyan generation. So we are doing okay. This is our time. And we know ourselves, when we venture into something, we go full throttle. And we are getting there. So my best wishes, Josh. Continue doing what you know best. Continue talking to the people. Continue don't knocking up to the last minute. Continue calling those people, reminding them. And at the end of it, on the 4th of May, God will crown you with success. And I know it's going to happen. So once again, my blessings and best wishes as you go. You become that popular.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
And you. Thank you, Josh. Thank you. So, guys, that has been our special program, Wednesday special program where we have hosted one of the candidates. He is a Labour Party member candidate. Josh is a Kenyan. Actually, he had a meeting at past, so good timing. He did tell me that he has a Labour group meeting at past, and so that's why I'm good at keeping time. And, you know, we wanted to hear some thoughts from him and for him to learn from us. And I believe he's learned something tonight. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel, Beacon of Hope. Beacon, please do subscribe. Please share. Please invite somebody. And if you're on Facebook, please do share. Invite somebody. Do not just let this message go. Yes? And for those who are outside, keep our brother in prayers, because we want him to get into that seat. So I remind you once again, sending money to Kenya has never been easy. Use Tap Send. You just need to download the app, and wherever you are, whether you are in US, any part of US, Tap is there. Whether you are in Germany, Finland, whether you are in the UAE, Tap is there. Download the app and then use my promo code. Just a quick bit of instructions on how to download. Send more, spend less, and not forgetting, I keep on reminding you, if you use my promo code Liz254, use my promo code Liz254, and if you send whatever amount, you get £15, and this is a promotion for Easter. Please maximize on this, £15, and the rate is really very good if you use my promo code Liz254. Good to see you, my sister Dorcas Jao. If you follow after this, my guest had to leave. He's got another meeting elsewhere, but it's good to see you. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining. So once again, we've come to the end of our show. We've come to the end of our program, and it's been our Wednesday special program where we featured politics. Yes, and we've seen that it's possible to join politics in diaspora, and you can do it. I have done it. This is my 14th year, and we can do it. And so I'm encouraging those of you who feel that they've got the calling, because once again, it's not for everybody, and it's not for the faint-hearted. You can manage. But if you need any support, any guidance, any mentorship, I am here. And I see that mentoring a few people who really want to take their time and learn to be into politics, and we are getting there. So I know we are getting there. So if you're interested, don't hesitate. I'm just a phone call away. Call me and you'll become what you want. I'm still reminding people that this is our time to promote Tap this Easter period.
Take two. We have the man, big ones. The husband, the most amazing father I've seen in this world. He goes by the name BJE. You know what, man? UK, I'm coming.
Yes.
Yo,
Tell
bro,
them.
bro, listen.
Yeah.
We know,
Tell 'em.
joking thing.
Yeah.
We're coming. UK. Yo, tell them, son. Tell them, bro. Tell
And you
them.
see, and you see what, yeah?
Yeah.
All this energy,
Yeah.
we're heading to Georgia Burudani address, courtesy of DVJ Deals East Africa tour, powered by Tap Send. Amina, take it away. Ah.
Send. Tap, 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 send. Tap, 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 send.
Tap send. We've got East African tour. DJ Duo is doing so well promoting tap send. I'm also doing the same here because tap is the real deal. So tonight, if you really want to download, I've shown you the instructions on how to download the app. And if you use my promo code LIS254, £15 on top of your first transaction. Do you know how much that is? The rate is 163 points. So you can imagine you get £15 or $15 on your first transaction. Just download. Easy. You enter your details. Then don't forget promo code LIS254. You get that £15. Why would you not go for it? I wish I hadn't. I would still go for that. I did it ages. So right now, with that rate, I would do it. So once again, we wish you a good night. We wish you a lovely day wherever you are. Some of you are still daytime. Have a good night. Tomorrow we are back again. Tomorrow we are back on a different episode. And we might be coming back on Friday. You know, we've missed 3 different consecutive shows because we had Easter and I had guests over Easter. I wasn't able to do the show. So I've decided I want to catch up. So we're back tomorrow. And tomorrow is going to be at 8. Today it was 7. And then on Friday. And then on Saturday, we're back with the family program with Archbishop Dr. BK. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord do you good. Don't forget, tap. Again, tap. Sending money to Kenya. Have a good night. God bless you. Take care of yourselves. Share, subscribe. Share, subscribe. Shalom. God bless you.